had someone come up to me to the gym today and ask me and said, is there any way I could possibly look like the guy in the Flex magazine that he showed me without taking performance-enhancing drugs? And I looked at him, I shook my head, and I told him, no, there is no possible way you are ever going to achieve a look like that without taking performance-enhancing drugs. It's a cold, hard fact of life that a lot of people don't really want to get realistic about, okay? Natural bodybuilding versus unnatural weight training or whatever you're doing, okay? It's a different realm. You do the same things. You diet, you lift, and you try to get your sleep and everything. But in order to try to compare the two and try to think that you're going to get the same type of results without taking performance-enhancing drugs as if you were to take them is completely and totally false. Okay? I know a lot of different people have opinions about this subject, and they're entitled to them as Americans. That's their opinion. I can just tell you mine, and it might make sense to you, it might not, but hey, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. A lot of people think that it's cheating and that, it's bad for the sport. You shouldn't take the drugs and everything like that. But the cold, hard fact of life is people want to see the biggest and baddest. That's a cold, hard fact of life. Okay, we just had Shark Week was on a couple weeks ago. And 99% of the time, what type of shark were they filming? Was it that little gray reef shark, or was it that little sand shark swimming around, No. They had a great white shark jumping out of the water, taking bites out of elephant seals, okay? Because that is what people want to see. People want to see home runs get hit. People want to see records get broken. People want to see larger than life. And the harsh reality of it is, in order to achieve those larger than life gains that these guys have that you see and idolize in these magazines, you have to take performance-enhancing drugs to achieve that look. Now, there are a lot of good natural bodybuilders that have excellent physiques that, in my opinion, look better than those guys, But in order to get that big, massive look and be shredded to shit without drugs is it's impossible. It's an impossible feat. Okay? A lot of people think it's cheating to, take the drugs, when they're doing their training or whatever. In certain circumstances, I agree with that 100%. I do not think it's fair or right for a tested competition where you're going out there saying you are not on performance-enhancing drugs, and then you try to sneak them in, and then you go in there and try to compete with the guys who are not on them, such as a football sporting event or a baseball or anything like that, where it's clearly stated that you are not supposed to be doing that. Okay? Yeah, again, people want to see big hits, people want to see home runs, so it's hard to get away from it. It is. And people do what they have to do in order to compete. I believe it is cheating, though. In a certain circumstance where I do not believe it's cheating is when you've got a untested bodybuilding show with other untested athletes, and you're going head-to-head, giving it everything you've got with whatever you can do to make yourself achieve a certain look. Well, that's not cheating, because everybody else has got the same opportunity to do the same thing you're doing. Okay, so that I don't believe is cheating. Again, there's a lot of health issues that people like to bring up about performance-enhancing drugs. There are different levels of what's the word I want to use? I guess levels of performance that people can gain with them. I mean, you might be just taking, half of what these big guys that are larger than life are taking. I'm sure, the amount you take does have a bearing on the amount of side effects that you're going to experience from them. A lot of them are controversial. A lot of them are controversial. You can read one magazine that's going to tell you it's going to kill you in 20 years. You can read another magazine that's going to tell you it's not. Reality of it is, I don't know. I mean, that's for you to decide, you to make your own opinion about. But that's, in a nutshell, how I feel about performance-enhancing drugs in a competition or not in a competition and the differences. Okay? Y'all keep those emails coming. Later.